episode of the SeatTimePodcast. Today I am going to be driving and competing at the EvergreenDrift Grassroots Competition with my FDR7. So with that said, let's get started. Go swim. So, on the previous episode of the podcast, I said I was going to take it easy and put my cars away for a while and focus on, I don't know, setting up the podcast and getting running. But here I am. Literally, a few hours later, I am going to be driving a comp. But first, I just want to apologize if the audio is all wonky. I am driving on the freeway headed to Nikolai's house right now to pick up my RX-7. I do have a mic ordered and on the way, so for better audio for future podcasts, hopefully. But yeah, I was originally just going to keep my cars in one shape, in one piece, and just put them away for a little bit while I focus on getting my new job and podcast up and running. However, I can't help it. Well, honestly, I asked myself a couple of questions. I've been wanting to drive a comp. There's two parts to this. I slept like shit last night, so I can't even formulate my sentences right. I was super excited. I got like maybe 3 hours of sleep last night. I haven't driven a comp in over 3 or 4 years. So the last time I competed at a drift event was actually Super D down in Northern California. That was with my FC convertible that I built up, thinking that I was going to put the FD away and just use the FC convertible as a fun seat time car that I wouldn't mind tapping into people with. That didn't last, but that car was fun. I actually got knocked out by Julian of Drift Team Animal Style in his girlfriend's black S14 during the comp. I'll put a little clip of the battle that we had here. That was super fun. That was the last time I competed, so it's been a long time, so we'll see how this goes. But going back to the whole purpose and cycle of the events that led me to registering for today's comp, I sat down and asked myself why I haven't competed, and I told my girlfriend that really I was never into drifting for the competition aspect of it. I didn't enjoy it. It's a lot of stress, a lot of destruction really from the comps I've been. It somehow almost always turns into a demolition derby. And I like my cars, and I like to keep them running and in one piece. Well, then she asked me, and I love my girlfriend. She's very supportive of this crazy lifestyle that I'm doing. And one of the main things I love about our relationship is that we have very deep, honest, heart-to-heart conversations about what we're doing and our intentions. So she didn't mean anything by this when she asked me, and she was like, well, I guess it's a good way to stay relevant. And that just jabbed me. I'm like, ugh. I've never done anything in drifting just to stay relevant. I don't give a, as much as I joke about it, I don't care about clout and e-popularity. But I was like, huh. Like, from the outside looking in, I guess you can see it that way. But no. Actually, I think Kevin's right behind me. So I this was a two-part thing. So 50%, I've been watching the Goodest cast with Palmer Sanderson and all the Drift Team Animal Style guys, as well as all the rippers from Northern America, and they just got me super motivated to go drive hard and progress my driving, just because I do get stuck in plateaus, as does everybody that's been doing this for quite some time. And like the saying goes, if you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. So that's half of the reason. It's pure. It's coming from the heart. It's pure-hearted, and I'm going into it for myself. And I want to push my driving and see how I stack up with these new kids. I feel like an old Sith Lord going into battle, trying to slay some younglings, but I'm probably gonna get pwned and knocked out the first round. But we'll see. The other side, the other 50%, is that with COVID going on and the uncertainty of today's market and financial and just lots of doubt of how to make money and all that stuff, I've been playing so conservatively, and to be honest, I just got sick and tired of living scared. That was one of the things I promised myself when I moved back up from Northern California, is that I'm going to make an effort to go for it. I don't really understand my reputation with the drift community. I have a vague understanding of it, but I think people know that I drive reliable cars, and my driving is consistent enough to where I can drive to events and from events and back, and have my car and keep my car in one piece. That's what I focus on, and never getting a trailer, never getting a tow rig, never being able to rely on a way back from an event other than the car that I came in on, is a double-edged sword. It made my driving be very, very conservative and very cautious and very safe, but at the same time, it's also kind of stunted my driving progression as a driver, because I'm always driving at most 70% of my abilities. I've always slowly crept and pushed, and I've never gone for broke, just because I knew I had to drive my ship home, you know? And I spent 9 years in Northern California, around, I want to say 5 to 6 years of it drifting there. I did take some time off from the sport, a couple of years, to do Muay Thai, kickboxing, and just train MMA and everything. But the time I spent down there, I was driving to Sonoma Drift, Thunder Hill, and Stockton Raceway, or Stockton Fairgrounds, with my car. And I've never got around to getting a trailer, and there's something to be said about that. It's super cool to roll up to an event in the car, rip all day, and then drive home. But at the same time, you can't chuck hard, you can't tandem super close, because if you hit shit and you break shit, you're gonna have to fix it there, or you're gonna have to figure it out. And it also, on top of that, makes you build a very conservative, reliable, and solid setup, because again, you have to drive home and the car didn't even thrashing all day. So there's that. So going back to my original question to myself on why I chose to register for today's event, I got super juiced and motivated and inspired by the Goodest cast and listening to Palmer, Aaron, Brandon Strong, Julian, and D Magic about their insecurities as drivers. And it's funny to me because some of these guys have been doing as long as me, but their skill levels, multitudes, levels higher, and I have no problem saying that. I've always admired that type of Japanese-inspired drifting. Nara, I I know they dislike the term, but Kansai style. It's a very hard, aggressive form of driving that it's actually, people don't know this that haven't been into drifting as long, but it's a very, very special sect of drifting. It's it's new over here, and it's awesome to watch. It's very exhibitionist. It's very different than American style drifting, that's for sure. And I've been really, really wanting to learn that. Also, to push my abilities as a chase driver, I'm pretty consistent. If that's anything I got going for me, is that I can lay down consistent leading runs so people can follow me relatively easy. But chasing people, there have been very few times where I've been comfortable enough to follow and get close enough to people and close that proximity. Mainly, again, because I drive a relatively rare platform that's expensive to fix, and that's my fault for choosing it. But also, again, I have to drive home on the same car that I rode in on. So I asked myself, well, okay, like the financial uncertainty is looming over me, because, okay, a little backstory too. So going back all the way to January of 2020. Actually, you know what? Let's go back further than that. You know what? Hold on. Let's go back even further than that. So I've always been very self-sufficient as far as my finances go. I do not come from money. I don't hate on people that do. But I've always made a way to work it out for myself. I put myself through school. My parents didn't spend a dime on my education. I got my own scholarships. I don't know. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but yeah, I've always done things my way, and I've always made my own choices in life. That's freedom, both financially and independently. But I got into the car business about 7 years ago with Mazda in Northern California. I worked as an internet sales manager for 5 years, and then 2 years as a finance manager for the same dealer group. And then most recently I did 1 year with Mercedes-Benz as an internet sales manager. At the end of the day though, I hate the job, man. Like, it's the most money I've ever made in my entire life. However, I was also miserable. Partly because I went through a divorce. I'm not gonna get super into it. It was amicable and we're still friends. It's just mentally, it was draining. And the car business, on the sales side specifically, it's very toxic. No matter where you go, you know, it's just the nature of the business. It's sales, man. But the money was good, and it still is. So I met my girlfriend about a year ago when I moved back up to Washington State. By the behest of Nikolai, I brought my cars and moved all my stuff up. I sold my house in Northern California early 2019. Yeah, right? Yeah. Got divorced. Moved back to Washington State, and I don't regret it whatsoever. I got back into the car business for a little bit up here, again with Mercedes-Benz, but again fell into the same traps, mentally draining. I started putting on weight again. I was just unhappy with it, man. Just the haggling back and forth with the clientele. I'm good at it, and I can make a lot of money on it. It's just I'm not happy with it. So at the end of December 2020, I sold 20 cars, 20 Mercedes-Benz, made a lot of money, and decided to go to Tokyo Auto Salon with Nikolai, Jeff, Jazzy Jay-Z Jeff, and Nikolai's wife, Didi. So we went to Tokyo Auto Salon for TAS 2020, and we stayed in Tokyo for 10 days. explored and had a blast. Went to Nico Circuit, met up with Alexia from Noriaro, ran into Julio and Jack Rival, aka what's his name? Chanel Speedboat in Nico. It was a blast, and that was very eye-opening for me as well too. But that was Tokyo, and I really wanted to go to Osaka, and I'm planning to go there. And then in February, the following month, I've been planning this even before the Tokyo trip. I took my girlfriend to Phuket, Thailand for 2 weeks. I think it might have been closer to 2.5 weeks, and we traveled everywhere as well too. I wanted to get out of the country and spend the money that I worked so hard to make and live life. So that's February 2020. On the way back, little did my girlfriend and I know that COVID was a real thing. We didn't think it was real. As we were in South Korea airport, I think it was in Seoul and Ichinan or whatever it's called, the airport was empty. So we were like, what's going on here? We thought like going into it was going to be a super busy, bustling airport. But even in Phuket, all the hotels and all the tourist spots and destinations it was like 30% capacity. There's nobody there. It was awesome. But we didn't really believe that coronavirus and COVID were real even. We were just like, this is just a weird case of the flu. But it was real. So in March, the lockdown in Washington State happened. Nobody was working, and I mean, coming back, I knew I didn't want to be in the sales side of the car business, and I knew there was a big possibility I was going to take even more time off work. So from March all the way till now, September, I've just been driving at least once or twice a month, and yeah, it's been very fun. I've progressed my driving, nowhere near to the level that I want to. However, I made progress in my initiations as well as my consistency. At the same time though, I've been very concerned about what the fuck I'm going to do for a job next, just because I did play job Tinder for a little bit. I skipped around between trying out different jobs. I went from a desk job at a car dealership, stressed out, buried in paperwork, and then I went to backbreaking manual labor jobs, mounting tires for literally 2 days. And I was like, hug this for no money, essentially. I was like, holy shit. So finally, I sat down and asked myself what aspects I want from a job, and I knew I wanted to not have a desk job where I'm sedentary all day. I want to make money to be able to afford drifting, and the end goal is to buy my own house in the next year or two. So I came up with a plan of applying for a service advisor job, and thankfully I just got hired at a pretty clean, prestigious dealership. So I'm very excited to start that. I found that out, I don't know, right? Wednesday? Yeah, today's Sunday. I got hired on Wednesday, and I start tomorrow actually. So I'm like sitting at home. I'm like, okay, I'm about to embark on this new career as a service advisor. A lot of stuff to learn. I do have Sundays off, so I can go to drift events on Sundays, which is awesome, and that was a big requisite of what I wanted for my next job. Then I started watching all the thrash racing videos that Alex Dalton edited, and awesome videographer, by the way. I highly suggest you guys check him out if you haven't. Like, my channel's getting like 100 views, if that. They're getting like 10,000 views. I'm sure people have seen it, but it's awesome. Very motivating stuff, and I just kept asking myself, why the fuck did I miss out on that event? Like, I was watching Final Bout Gallery, I was watching the travels, and they running into Gucci and all of those D1 greats. Like, man, those guys are living. I mean, I thought I was living just doing local drift events, but traveling and drifting, that's something that I really, really want to do. I feel like I'm just rambling on here, but essentially I was giving myself a midlife crisis. And that's what car life is. You're basically giving yourself a midlife crisis every day. But basically, I realized I'm 35 years old. I'm a proficient driver, I think, but at the same time, I know I'm going to be a total noob if I ever go to these places like Shawano and Drive USA. I'll very much be humbled, and I want to be. So I was like, okay, let's get started on this and drive a motherfucking comp tomorrow. So I registered for a comp yesterday. I like to keep my cars ready at all times, so I can just hop in and drive. I mean, that's another habit of mine that I've always had. So yeah, I am on my way to Nick's house right now to pick up my FD, and we'll see how this goes. It was supposed to rain this weekend, but the sun's out shining, so I'm super excited. I'm going into this very pure-hearted and knowing that I want to progress and drive with all sorts of drivers, be it just with grassroots guys, you know. But I'm very excited about it. I've done only a handful of comps in my drifting lifetime. The very first, actually, I think one of the very first comps I did was inside the Tacoma Dome, and I got second. And funny enough, it was a paid gig, so I made like $750 taking second place, or something like it was like $700. And the way the taxes happened, I actually made more money taking second than Victor Moore took first, because he had to claim taxes, and I just got paid under the table in cash, you know. So that was cool. I've taken like second and third place in like local comps way back in the day, but that was because there was a field of like 10 cars, so that barely doesn't count. But I got trophies. I just want to add more to my collection. I am getting older, so we'll see. I'm excited. I doubt I'll even make podium or even crack top 8, but we'll see. I might fucking win this bitch, so I'm super excited. All loaded up. Nerd spec.
You guys show up when there's no schedule out. Schedule it, you don't. We also have the 10 races.
I didn't look at 11. I was like, what the fuck? How was supposed to be?
All right, cover all the usual business. When you signed in at the back gate, you signed in.
Interesting field today. My teammate Kevin is actually driving today, so probably try and get some practice laps with him. The layout looks pretty simple. It's pretty much a half figure eight, so it'll be fun. go. It's about to get some smoke though. It's about to get smoked. Rotary powered. Anthony. Sick. Please don't get hit. Please don't get hit. Please don't get hit. What's up, girl? What's up? Starting for 2069. I don't think I even qualified. I don't feel like I did a single lap, but whatever, we'll see, I guess. That was it for practice. It's kind of lame. Close my shit down. Just kidding, I won my first battle against an E36. So, I'll hose down really quick. Pull off. I lost! Just kidding. I won. Good. Fucking excited. That was fucking awesome. Winning feels pretty cool. Good game, good game. Sudoku. I lost. I went wide. I hit the coast. Sorry, that was fun. Ours in one piece. This is a big ass dent in my driver's side. We're about to see. Stardate 69,420. I won my first 2 battles and lost my third because the silver 350Z that I went up against, he was cutting out on the initiation, and he told me that he was cutting out initiation, so I gave him some space. Apparently it was too much space, but apparently proximity matters today when they said it doesn't matter today, but it's okay. My car is, fuck you, is in one piece. Nailed some tires, it looks cool. Nailed some barrels, or whatever it's called, the big cones. So now we clout. So spool so hard is at spool so hard. Damn, son. Damn. FD squad. Some clout racing today. Some solid clout racing. But yeah, it was fun. I broke a aerodynamic splitter side. It's all good. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Apparently, if I had not given him that much space, I had a shot. But whatever, it's all good. Time to commit Sudoku. Just JK. Julio and Garrett Thorio just went, and unfortunately Julio a little messed up on the lead a little bit. So, oh well, cool car though, very cool car, great driver. I think I'm gonna stick around and do some open drift against my better judgment. So, fuck. I want to try some stuff. So competition's almost over. They're gonna have a little bit of open drift afterwards, and against my better judgment, I think I'm gonna stick around for that and try the big entry that Aaron and Austin of Animal Style were doing. That looks so fucking sick. So I'm gonna see and if I can do it or do something close to it, or mimic something like it. Fucking sketch though. You're going fast and you're fainting towards the wall. So we'll see how this goes. This will probably be something I regret doing, but we'll see shortly. So let's get some. Fuck, it wasn't even rolling. Fuck, no. I totally did not mean to do Dude, that was so fun. Kind of disappointed with myself as far as competition goes, but this last session, the end of the day, more than made up for it. So definitely eager to get my flicks down and get more aggressive and violent with the entries. And I'm really excited to put the 5.1 ring and pinion in the rear to step up from the stock 4.1. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time. See you, Drift Cowboys.